Another day of tournaments has just officially concluded, and we have to ask the question on why our big name teams like Pollo's trio, Queasy's trio, and even Malibuca's trio are struggling. Peterbot has even just leaked some crazy brand new tech as well. We got a lot to go over in today's video. Real quick video starts though, please subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, as we try our best to upload daily competitive content for you guys. If you guys want to support me even more, the best way to do so is by using code KDOG in the Fortnite item shop. Without further ado though, we have a lot to go over in this video, so let's get it started. Let's of course start off with everybody that was able to qualify for the finals from NA. Like first place, the trio of Peterbot, Ritual, and Booga. Now they finished with 441 points, won 4 out of their 7 matches, and still finished with the most elims in this entire tournament, even though they had to sub in Booga for Cold. And let's just say Peter is not necessarily happy about Cold missing his 3rd straight eval cup of the season, which if you guys didn't know, Cold has still yet to play a single eval cup this season.
Cole's not playing another eval. 0 for 3 evals played from that brother.
He's for sure not getting on.
Yeah, I just love playing with that kid, bro. He's such a good kid and plays every tourney. And
why is he so good, Pete? Why is he still disgustingly crazy? No matter what, he's
talent,
fucking
bro.
on timing every time. He's never
talent,
had.
Bro.
I swear, I don't think he's had an off day.
Now, I've honestly just come to the point of never doubting Cold, no matter how much he plays the game. If I had to build out a trio to help me to be able to win an FNCS, obviously I'm picking Peter, and then even if Cold hasn't played the game in over a month, he would still always be my second option. So is it probably annoying from Peterbot and Ritual's perspective, as they are literally just trying to grind as much as possible before the global championships, but you can also make an argument that Cold has also been the best player in the world this entire season. So I mean, what are they really going to say to him at the end of the day? Second place was Queasy, and Higgs on 428. They won 3 out of their 5 total matches and finished with the second most elims of 162. Third place was Victor V, Epic Whale, and Paper. So our entire top 3 is trios that are going to be competing at the FNCS Global Championships. 5th place is Rebels. 6th place, another one of our land trios of Mud, Shadow, and Sphinx. 7th place is Chaos. 8th place is Day. 9th place is one of our brand new trios that placed 3rd place in the first Div Cup of the season of G Money, Josh, and Rise. And then rounding out the top 10 was Slips. Some of the other big name teams that we had that were able to qualify is like our land trio in 12th of Visuals, Braids, and Diminished. Good to see them actually be able to qualify for an eval cup finals. We have another land team in 22nd place of Rapid Kanata and Bolts, Phaser King and PHN in 24th, Bucky, Dash, and Cam in 27th, and then we even have an EU trio of Swizzy, Queasy, and Thomas HD in 32nd place. All right, now let's talk about the big one, the trio that was not able to qualify today, finishing in 394th place. This trio ran out of games in under an hour. It is the team of Agers, Acorn, and Pollo. They finished with 54 total points in 6 matches. Their match history was a 3 elimination 18th, 16 elimination 10th, 1 elimination 30th, 2 elimination 23rd, 3 elimination 22nd, and a 5 elimination 26th. This team is heavily contested at their drop spot of Demons, Debris in the opens especially, but this trio has not won a single eval cup game this season. They placed 6th place in the most recent Div Cup. I've seen some people start to have some real doubts on almost the unanimous pick for a lot of people to win this year's FNCS Global Championships. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I would be lying if I didn't say I am also having some doubts about them myself. I try not to put too much weight into the eval cups, so I'm gonna give them another week in this week's Div Cups before I really start to panic. But this trio really needs to lock in, because for a trio that has arguably one of the best POIs on the map completely uncontested, they for one just haven't even necessarily been able to make it into the finals to practice with that, and 2, even when they are able to, they still aren't necessarily even placing that well. Before I actually move on to how the finals went, I want to show this pretty crazy clip that Peterbot posted last night, because he is like full exposing the tech right now. Alright, so you guys should know by now that Peter will do whatever it takes to get an advantage on other teams, including showing right here, just in a random game that he went into, that you can actually steal rank ups off of the boss from the mythic POIs to be able to eventually steal the bunkers as well. Now, I mean, I'm literally just gonna let the clips roll in the background right here. You can see that you can do this from multiple different mythic POIs, get up to A rank almost instantly, And I mean, obviously a couple people like in the comments of this were saying that they already knew about it and stuff like that, but there was also just a lot of pros in general. Even like Faxy said, keep cooking them plays, coach, at Raz. Bryce said, please give me the bunkers. Queasy talking, Ferdoxy talking, and then I'm not we're not gonna read that one down there. But yeah, Peters obviously seems fully locked in right now, and he seems like he's in that mode where he is willing to do whatever it takes to place good at this globals, from switching his drop spots to conning the OXR base to now trying to leak tech so that some other trios are going to actually grief these teams at the Mythic POIs. I don't know how useful this is actually going to be at the Global Championships, just because so many of these teams are going to be surge trading. But as I say every single season, I am just so excited in general to see how much hidden tech these pros are actually going to be showing off at the LAN event. I also completely forgot to mention that Peter also had one of the most random glitches I have ever seen in the game. So I want to show that clip for you guys as well.
180.
You guys are good? Okay.
I'm not even shooting.
100. Dead. Wait. 90 white. I'm about to zip
What
line
the
in this bitch.
fuck? 180, 90 what? I'm in,
What?
Rich. Oh, wait.
Oh, you just killed me.
Wait, what?
1 HP.
Guys, I died.
Huh?
Wait, where are you?
Bro, it literally killed me. Don't go up there, don't go up there!
Oh my god.
What the
Now for how the actual finals went, we had some very interesting different game winners. The trio that was able to finish in first place today, winning one total match and getting the most elims of this entire tournament, has been probably the most up and coming team this season on all of NA of Curve, Tyler, and Craze. Now this trio finished the tournament with 33 total elims and an average placement of 7.0. Their match history was a 5 elimination 5th, 7 elimination 16th, 6 elimination 6th, and then in the very final game, they were finally able to pick up that win, getting a 15 elimination win. If Trios is gonna stay for another year, this is looking like a very scary team. Huge shout outs to these guys, they have been looking so good. Second place was our Brazilian goats of Phaser King and PH Zen. They're able to get their second Eval Cup win on NA with a 10 elimination win. I know I've said it multiple times now, but I really do think that this trip to NA was far and away the most beneficial thing that they could do for their practice leading into the Global Championships. No disrespect to the Brazil region or anything, but hopefully all of us can probably agree that NA is a better region than Brazil, and King's Trio has honestly shown some real progression from when they first arrived in NA to where their skill is at now, and hopefully it is going to be able to translate to globals as well. Third place was Noxy Void in SU. They were able to win game 2, getting a 7 elimination win. And then the trio that won game 1 is another one of our LAN teams of Kanata, Bolts, and Rapid. They started off the tournament with a bang, getting a 7 elimination win in game 1. After that, not the most consistency with a 2 elimination 12th, 3 elimination 5th, and a 0 elimination 27th. But in the very final game, they ended up keying Crazy's trio, and let's just say it didn't work out the best for them. But mission accomplished at the end of the day. The only purpose of this tournament is to be able to get a win, and they did just that. The rest of the leaderboard, as you guys should know, just goes by who had the most elims, but was not able to get a win. So in 5th place, we had the trio of Ritual, Booga, and Peterbot. They finished with 28 total elims in this tournament. Their match history was a 6 elimination 8th, 10 elimination 6th, 1 elimination 26th, and a 11 elimination 11th. I'm honestly not even really gonna like analyze or talk about this trio since they're not even playing with their real team. 6th place is actually one of our LAN teams though, of Mud Shadow and Sphinx. These guys honestly do just look so good every single Eval Cup. If you guys were wondering why they had such a bad placement in the first Div Cup of the season, it's because Sphinx's power went out. So now in the first full tournament that these guys are playing out with what I am presuming to be the meta for globals, they got an 11 elimination 2nd, 9 elimination 3rd, 0 elimination 31st where they died off spawn, then a 5 elimination 7th in the very final game. I am still relatively high on this trio, and I think they do have a real chance to top 10 at this globals. 7th place, another one of our LAN teams of Victor v Epic Whale in Paper. They only had one game inside of the top 10, but still finished with 22 total elims. 8th place was our most consistent team of the day of Clicks, Yamzo, and Higgs. They got a 7 elimination 4th, 3 elimination 5th, 8 elimination 2nd, and a 2 elimination 3rd. Just a pretty interesting stat about this team. From them originally being what everybody called Eval merchants, they have not won an Eval Cup game since June 18th, which was 62 days ago. Now, they were still obviously super consistent in this tournament, had a chance to win almost every single game, but I do still think it is very interesting that a trio that used to win multiple games every single Eval Cup has not won one in over 2 months. 9th place was G Money Josh in Rise, and then rounding out the top 10 was Catman's trio. And then for our one NA team that placed outside the top 10, we had Visual Sprays and Diminished in 12th. Their best games were like a 5 elimination 8th and a 6 elimination 17th. As I always say for this team though, this is never a trio that looks relatively well in the eval cups or even in the div cups. Also, a lot of these teams in general are still just trying to learn and adapt to the meta that we are going to be having for globals. But really fun day of tournaments all around on NA. Let's actually move on to how EU went now though. Now in EU, we saw some surprise winners. Some LAN teams do super well. As always though, let's start off with everybody that was able to qualify. Like first place of Contry, Dexy, and Finnick. They finished with 314 points, won 4 out of their 5 matches, and got 54 total elims. Even though it's just opens, winning 4 out of your 5 matches, still super impressive. Second place is Belusi. Third place is Ricky. Fourth place is our first LAN team that was able to qual of Venya Pixie and Marius, the consistency goats. Fifth place was Howley Danapuzo in Hizix. Sixth place is Comeback Shark in Blaha, our week 1 Div Cup finals winners. Seventh place is Frostroki. Eighth place, another one of our LAN teams of iDrop Hari and Cammy. Ninth place is Seti Yapko, and then their fill for this eval cup of Paco. Now, I'm pretty sure that Paco is not an official fill player for the FNCS Global Championships. If you guys don't know, Panzer is currently in the process of trying to get his visa, so he has not been able to play recently. So Seti and Yapko have had to play with different fills for each week. And then rounding out the top 10, another one of our LAN trios of Focus, Mixin, and Upple. We have a lot of other LAN teams that were able to qual this week though, like 11th place of Vino Vico and Flixie. We also have like Pink Thomas and Sato in 15th, Sky Scroll and Sand Guild in 17th, Video Chap and Mr. Savage in 19th. Rezon is going to be getting back tomorrow though, so he should officially be fully back just in time for day 1 of week 2 of the Trio Cash Cup opens. And this should hopefully be the last tournament that he is going to miss until Global Championships are over. We also have like Pix, Demus, and MKC. I have to admit, I don't really know too much about MKC, and I'm also not too sure where Darm is at this week, but hopefully he should be back for the Div Cup tomorrow. And then that was about it for all of the big names that were able to qualify for the finals. We did have some really big LAN trios just be a couple of spots off from qualifying though. Like 34th place, the main one probably, is Chino, Pablo, and Ferdoxy. So this week in the eval finals, we did not get to see any Ferdoxy versus Tayson since neither of them were able to qualify. Now the main trios that struggled, and you know I don't normally overreact to eval cups, but I think if these teams have a rough div cup as well, then it might be time to start pressing the panic button. We have like 164th place of Pingwax and Malibuka, and then also 196th place of Swizzy, Queasy, and Merstash. Both of these teams pretty much this entire season, and even you can say last season as well, really haven't lived up to that potential that a lot of people are giving them. And for two trios that are going to be fully uncontested at LAN, and even some people are saying that Queasy could potentially win this LAN, I feel like a lot of people are going to start losing some hope if this team has yet another rough week in the Div Cups. Let's actually move on to how the finals went now though. Now in the finals, this finals honestly felt almost more stacked than the Div Cup finals that we had. The trio that was able to finish in first place though, the only team to win multiple games, was Sky Scroll and Sand Guild. Now this trio is coming off of getting second place in the Div Cup yesterday, winning 2 games in the Eval Cup today. This trio looks absolutely primed up right now. It really does suck that there's no FNCS for these guys, because this is looking like one of the most up and coming teams on all of EU right now. And I especially feel bad for Sand Guild, because when Duos comes back, I think a lot of us could probably assume that Sky and Scroll are going to be the duo, and then Sand Guild is going to be the odd man out. And I don't know if he's going to get players on the caliber of Sky and Scroll for duos. But hey, focusing on their trio performance, their match history today was a 1 elimination 12th, 5 elimination 8th, and then they concluded the tournament getting back-to-back wins with 10 and 3 elims. The trio that finished in second place, our first LAN team, this trio honestly completely made up for their performance yesterday. It is Vico, Vino, and Flixie. They were able to win 1 out of the 4 games today, and they finished with the most elims in this entire tournament with 37 total elims. Their match history was a 6 elimination 13th, 14 elimination win, 11 elimination 2nd, and a 6 elimination 16th. That's kind of the thing when I was talking about this trio for my actual predictions on them for the global championships, as I feel like they can just be such a hit or miss inconsistent team, because there is days like today and even like day 2 of Grands where they can look like one of, if not the best trio in the entire world. But then there is also days where we have seen them multiple times in like the Div Cup finals not even finish inside of the top 10. That is why it is just going to be so hard for me to try to decide where I want to predict them to finish at this Globals, but I am still very high on this trio. And then in third place, the only other trio to get a win, winning game 1, was Chap, Mr. Savage, and Vidil. Their match history was a 10 elimination win, 4 elimination 7th, 2 elimination 19th, and a 5 elimination 5th. Now, man, let me just say the Mr. Savage community was absolutely ruthless after they ended up winning that game. I think something really cool out of this is Rezon actually tweeted out, never knew Chap did that good, not gonna lie, definitely learned a lot from that game, and Rezon is showing a Discord message that he sent to Chap, and he said, you just talk more and I shut up, just watch back the win and you are him. Now, I said this in my video yesterday, I talked about the main difference between Vidil and Rezon in this trio, and why Vidil has now placed 4th with them in a Div Cup Finals and won a game with them in the Eval Cup, and I think a lot of that has to do with comms. Vidil is just such a calmer player in the end games. He listens a lot more compared to how with like Rezon and Chap, they are both just full screaming the entire time. And I think Rezon now is also realizing that. I don't think this is going to be a quick fix, as Rezon has always been the louder type of player, especially in the end games. And so something that he has developed for years now is not just going to go away in one tournament, but hopefully by the time Globals actually starts, if this team has a lot of practice together, depending on their drop situation, this could be a potentially scary team, because Chap is also just looking so primed up right now. 4th place is Comeback Shark in Blaha. They finished with the 2nd most elims in this tournament, finishing with 31 total elims. 5th place is Ice. 6th place is our only other full LAN trio inside of the top 10 of Venya, Pixie, and Marius. They had 2 good games today, getting a 10 elimination 5th and a 6 elimination 4th. The thing with this trio's performance from last season and this season is I feel like they have just been solid to good. They haven't necessarily blown me out of the water with any of their performances that make me think that like, oh, they can maybe win Globals, and especially with the fact that they're literally contested by Peter's trio now. I feel like even if they were fully uncontested, I think I would put them at a max like 3rd place. But I mean, a 3rd at Globals is obviously still absolutely insane. They're still a really good trio. I'm kind of just trying to say that like they haven't necessarily blown me out of the water compared to some other trios. 7th place is Contry, Dexy, and Finnick. 8th place is CZB Nathan and Axe Force. 9th place is Pink, Thomas HD, and Sato. And then rounding out the top 10 is Howley, Dan DePuzo, and Hizix. So for our only other full LAN teams outside of the top 10, we had like 16th place of iDropari and Cammy. They did get close to winning a game though with a 5 elimination 2nd and a 5 elimination 9th. Still not really too worried about that trio. They're going to be fully uncontested at LAN. They have a potential triple contest right next to them. I think they'll be just fine. 19th place, another full trio of Focus, Mixon, and Uppel. These guys didn't really get any elims today, but they were just playing the format exact, and they were almost the most consistent team in this entire tournament as well. They got a 5 elimination 6, 2 elimination 6, 3 elimination 8, and then a 0 elimination 25th in their very final game. But this is another one of my personal most underrated trios in the entire world. They were another one of those trios that struggled in the first Div Cup of the season, but I do still think they are a very good team. Let's check out the final statistics now from this tournament. The highest damage ratio was Sky with a 1.95. The most damage to players and the most elims was Shark with 5,513 damage and 17 total elims as well. 2nd place was Vico, 3rd was Vino, 4th was Pixie, 5th was Axe Force, 6th was Ice, 7th was Dexy, 8th was Chap, 9th was Zarb, and then rounding out the top 10 was Nathan with 9. The most assists was also Vico with 25, Time and Storm was for Strokey, Time Alive was Scroll, and then we do have the most builds placed by Mr. Savage, so he looks like he is getting his eyes yelling and tarping to the full extent. Honestly, a pretty fun day of tournaments, all things considered. Remember, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, as we try our best to upload daily competitive content for you guys. If you guys want to support me even more, the best way to do so is by using code KDOG in the Fortnite item shop. YouTube says I'm showing one of these 2 videos up on the screen right now, so go check them out if you guys haven't already. Thank God for another day, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.